Have you ever wondered why some retirees seem to live freely, traveling, enjoying hobbies, stress-free, while others are constantly worried about money, even though both groups might have saved about the same amount? It's not always about how much you save. It's also about what you don't hold on to. Because here's the truth. The things that made sense to own during your working years might quietly drain you in retirement. And if you don't sell or let go of them before you retire, they can become your biggest regret later. In this video, we're talking about 5 specific things that most people don't realize they should sell before retirement. These are things that eat your money, your time, and even your freedom. And by the time you notice, it's too late. So if you want your retirement to actually feel like freedom, not another full-time job managing stuff, then pay close attention. Because by the end of this video, you'll see why selling these 5 things is one of the smartest moves you can make, financially, mentally, and emotionally. All right, let's dive in. Let's start with something that seems harmless, but it's secretly one of the most expensive mistakes retirees make. It's the big house. You see, for decades, owning a big home feels like a dream. It's where you raised your family. It's filled with memories, laughter, and history. But here's the thing. Once your kids move out and your life slows down, that same house starts to quietly own you. The maintenance, the property taxes, the insurance, the repairs, it all adds up. Even if the mortgage is paid off, the cost of keeping it never goes away. And the longer you hold on to it, the more it eats into your retirement savings. Most people don't realize it, but that big home might be holding up hundreds of thousands of dollars that could actually be working for you. Imagine selling it before you retire, downsizing to something smaller, simpler, easier to maintain, and investing the extra money. You'd reduce your monthly expenses dramatically and free up capital for travel, healthcare, or even helping your kids when they need it. One couple I heard about lived in a 4-bedroom home for 30 years. When they retired, they thought they'd stay there forever. But after 2 years, they realized they were spending nearly $15,000 a year just on upkeep, gardening, cleaning, small repairs. They eventually downsized and saved nearly $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year just from living smaller. It's not just about the money. It's about peace of mind. Less stuff, fewer bills, less stress. That's what retirement should feel like.
And here's the key point. If you sell before retirement, before you need to, you can do it on your terms. You can take your time, find the best price, and move with a plan. But if you wait until your savings run low, you'll sell under pressure. And when you're desperate, you don't negotiate. You accept whatever offer comes your way. So if you're within 5 years of retiring, think hard about that big house. It might be time to cash in on your equity and downsize while you're still in control. Now, let's move to the second thing, and this one surprises a lot of people. It's not something physical like a house, but it's something that quietly burns your money every single year. I'm talking about extra vehicles. Yes, that second car, that pickup truck, that SUV you barely drive anymore, or maybe even the old car your kid used to drive but left behind. You might think, well, I'll keep it. It's already paid off. But the truth is, cars are like melting ice cubes. They lose value every single year. You still pay for insurance, registration, maintenance, and repairs, even if they're sitting in your driveway. Let me give you an example. Say your second car is worth $15,000 today. In 5 years, that could drop to $8,000 or less, while you've spent about $1,500 a year on insurance and maintenance. That's a total of over $7,000 gone just to own something you rarely use. Now imagine selling that car today and investing that $15,000. Even a conservative 5% return over 5 years turns that into nearly $19,000. Instead of losing money, you've made it grow. The goal in retirement isn't just to have less, it's to make your money work harder for you. And every dollar that's trapped in something you don't really use is a dollar that's not earning or growing.
And let's be honest, do you really need 2 cars when you're retired? You're not commuting to work every day anymore. You can plan your drives, share one car, and simplify your life. I know it can be hard to let go of things that once represented freedom, but in retirement, freedom looks different. It's not about owning more. It's about owning just enough to live comfortably and enjoy your time. Now, before we move on, let me tell you something powerful. Every single thing you sell before retirement doesn't just add money, it adds clarity. You start seeing what actually matters, what's actually giving you peace, and what's just noise. All right, now that we've talked about your house and your vehicles, the next one on this list might sting a little because it's something emotional, something that feels valuable, but in reality, it's quietly costing you time, energy, and opportunity. It's something most retirees don't think about until it's too late.
It's sentimental clutter. Now, I get it. These are the things that tell your story. The furniture you've had for 20 years, the boxes of old photos, the decorations you bought on family trips, your kids' childhood stuff. Letting go of them can feel like letting go of a piece of your life. But here's the honest truth. Sentimental clutter doesn't just take up space in your home, it takes up mental space. It quietly adds weight to your day-to-day life. When you retire, your biggest goal is peace, simplicity, freedom from stress. Yet many people spend their early retirement sorting through decades of stuff they never use. Closets full of clothes they don't wear, attics stacked with furniture they'll never need, garages stuffed with maybe someday boxes. Here's what ends up happening. You spend the first 2 years of your retirement managing your past instead of creating your future. But if you start selling those items now, while you're still energetic and active, you'll free up your space and maybe make some extra cash. I know a retired teacher who did this brilliantly. Before she retired, she sold all her unused furniture, collectibles, and random household items on Facebook Marketplace. Over 6 months, she made more than $10,000, but that's not even the best part. She said her home finally felt light. She could breathe again. That's the real win. You're not throwing away memories. You're just keeping the ones that matter most. Maybe you take photos of the sentimental items before you sell them. Keep the memories digitally, not physically. Because here's what no one tells you. The more space you free, the more peace you create. And when you walk into a home that feels open, calm, and easy to maintain, that's when retirement starts to feel real.
That's what selling before retirement gives you, options. Because once you're retired, dealing with tenants or fixing roofs becomes 10 times more exhausting than it used to be. So take a good look at your properties. Are they truly serving you, or are you serving them? Here's something to think about. Not every investment that made sense at 45 will make sense at 65. The older you get, the more valuable simplicity becomes. Now, before we move to the fifth and final thing, there's one more lesson that ties all of these together. Every item you sell before retirement has two kinds of value. One is the financial value, the money you get when you sell. The other is the emotional value, the freedom, clarity, and control you gain. Most people only look at the first one, but the emotional value often outweighs the money. Because when your life becomes lighter, you actually have room to enjoy it. Now, let's talk about the fifth thing you should sell before you retire. And this one might shock you, because it's not physical. You can't touch it or store it. But it's something that can seriously delay or even derail your peace of mind in retirement if you don't deal with it soon. It's your business. Yep, the business you built, the one you poured your energy into for years.
A lot of small business owners plan to keep running it during retirement, maybe part-time, maybe just as a side gig. But the truth is, a business is never truly part-time. It demands energy, decisions, and responsibility, all things you might not want to carry into your 60s or 70s. Here's what happens. You tell yourself you'll sell it later, but by the time you're ready, the business might not be worth as much, or it might depend too heavily on you to operate. Suddenly, it's not sellable, and instead of walking away with a nice payout, you're stuck managing it because you can't find a buyer. The smart move? Sell when things are still good. When the business is profitable, healthy, and attractive to buyers. That's when you'll get top value. I once heard a story about a man who owned a local hardware store for 30 years. He planned to sell it at 65, but he waited too long. By 67, competition had increased, his sales dropped, and his health started declining. He ended up closing the business and getting only a fraction of what it could have been worth 2 years earlier. Timing is everything. So if you have a business, start planning your exit early. Even if you don't sell it tomorrow, start building it in a way that someone else can run it without you. That's how you create value. That's how you walk into retirement with freedom, not another job. Selling your business doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're cashing in on years of hard work and moving into a new chapter of your life where your time finally belongs to you. Because here's the ultimate truth about retirement. It's not about having more. It's about having enough and knowing how to protect it. Now, before we wrap up, let's take a moment to connect all the dots, because these 5 things aren't just random. They're connected by one powerful principle that most retirees never think about.
They're all connected by one powerful principle. Freedom costs less than attachment. Think about it. The house, the cars, the clutter, the extra properties, even the business. All of these things come with a hidden cost. They tie you to maintenance, responsibility, stress, or worry. And the more things you have that require energy, the less freedom you actually own. It's like dragging luggage into the next stage of your life. Every piece might be meaningful, but the more you carry, the slower you move. And here's the reality. Retirement isn't about stopping. It's about shifting. It's about trading what used to be important for what matters now. Time, energy, and peace. You've spent your entire working life earning, building, collecting, and maintaining. Now, the smart move isn't to keep adding. It's to start subtracting. To clear the path for what's next. Let's be honest. Letting go is never easy. That big home feels like your life's story. That business feels like your identity. Those old cars or collectibles remind you of your best years. But every time you sell one of these things, you're not losing something. You're gaining something bigger. Space, control, clarity, and time to enjoy what's left. Because what's the point of working 40+ years if you spend retirement managing what you built instead of living what you earned? Imagine it's your first morning as a retiree. You wake up with no alarm clock. You look around your home, and everything in it is exactly what you want there, not what you used to need. There's no clutter, no stress, no unfinished tasks staring at you. You make your coffee, you sit outside, you breathe. That's real freedom. That's what you're working for right now, not just financial security, but emotional simplicity. So before you retire, sell these 5 things not because they're bad, but because they've already served their purpose. They helped you build your life, but they don't need to follow you into the next one. Sell the big house and buy back your peace of mind. Sell the extra vehicles and buy freedom from unnecessary costs. Sell the sentimental clutter and buy mental space. Sell the underperforming properties and buy simplicity. Sell the business and buy your time back. Each sale is a trade between what once mattered and what matters now. And that's what real retirement is about. Not running from work, but running toward life. So start early. Don't wait until the last moment when life forces your hand. The best time to simplify is before you need to. Because when you enter retirement light, you don't just survive it, you enjoy it. You actually live it. And that's something money alone can't buy. Now, before we close, let me say this. If you've watched this far, you're already ahead of most people. Because most people plan for retirement as if it's just a number in their bank account. But the truth is, retirement is a mindset. It's about designing the kind of life you want to wake up to every day.
So start making those decisions now. Start preparing to sell the things that no longer serve you. Start shaping your retirement to be lighter, smarter, and happier. Because when the time finally comes, you'll thank yourself for having the courage to let go. And hey, if this video helped you rethink your retirement, take 2 seconds to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who need this advice. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. We talk every week about smart financial decisions that help you live the retirement you deserve, not the one you settle for. Thanks for watching, and remember, freedom doesn't come from owning more. It comes from needing less.